The usage of female dancers' bodies to bring male sex and money fantasies to life is nothing short of disrespectful to the female gender. During this time of the Great Depression, it was very easy to take advantage of young, naive women in both the workplace and the dance space because the concept of women's advocacy and fair treatment was rarely addressed. I would like to believe that the staging of the female body for male desires could have been avoided, but unfortunately, due to the lack of education, true understanding of equality, and deeply instilled gender roles, the female body was viewed as just another source or good to be used at the advantage of men. As it was explained in the passage from the book, The Work of Dance, Labor, Movement, and Identity in the 1930s, females nearly became brainwashed, not only into knowing choreography and dance steps like a machine knows how to assemble a car, but also in terms of believing that this treatment from men in the media was okay or normal. This cycle of commodification and sexualization of women quickly became irreversible yet unnoticeable because of the frequency it occurred at and how normal it became in the years to come. Due to this desire of achieving male fantasies through the usage of chorus dancers' bodies, all of the hard work and effort put into learning, retaining, and performing the set choreography and steps was promptly swept under the rug as the male gender took the successes from the place that was very undeserving yet handed to them on a silver platter. Women were not only exploited for men to feel empowered and better about themselves, but these women's successes and achievements were promptly stripped from their possession, invalidating all of the work that they had put into a long and indoctrinating process. When evaluating on a surface-level perception of how the white female body was viewed during the 1930s, one can say that there were mixed perceptions from various generations during that time. The older generations who were more used to reserved wardrobes and conservative actions had their ground shook when risque concepts were coming to life, like in the video We're in the Money, or even the partying flappers from the Roaring '20s. In comparison, the younger and upcoming generations praised the exposed white female body for its vulnerability and representation of freedom. Though when examining the perception of the white female body on a deeper level, it is evident from my point of view that these young women were objectified and used to the male advantage for marketing ploys, money, and so much more. I find this objectification and commodification of females by society to be particularly disrespectful to the female gender, as they have rightfully paved their way to receive recognition for their dedication and hard work. I feel as though this lack of respect and the lack of desire to appreciate women and their bodies further instilled the idea of male superiority that was already present and gleaming within society. One particularly unfortunate part of the ordinary white female body becoming so greatly praised in yet such a degrading way is that the segregation of race and the idea of what society considered beautiful was heightened, as those of color were forced to believe that they could never achieve the level of desirability that the chorus dancers had. This perception of mistreatment of women later created a trickle-down effect within society that enabled the putting down of women, both of white and of color, in a sexualized and race-based manner, no matter what they danced or performed or how they acted or presented themselves. As I assess the transformation of We're in the Money from being sexually risque concept to being viewed as a nice and uplifting performance in today's time, I immediately turn to the pivot that society took as a whole since the 1930s. In the years that have made up nearly a century since the Great Depression, there has been abundance of change within society and how society accepts and receives risque content that involves the female body. This trickle-down effect that has made its way all the way to the 2000s has become very hard for people to notice when women are being objectified because of how it has become so ingrained within our society. Though this concept was once very taboo and controversial, there has been normalcy found within the exploitation of the female body on various platforms such as social media and television, and in various age brackets. I do not support the sexualization of the female body that has occurred over the years because the degrading effect it has had on the female gender in various aspects like unequal pay in the workplace, stereotypes, and assumed gender roles. Though this idea has already been mildly implemented into our society, I feel as though as we progress into a more progressive era, the attention to the female body will shift from unwanted, commodified, and sexualized view to a more appreciated, understood, and respected view. Society, especially women, has found a way to take the negative energy that has been directed towards them for so long and turn it into empowerment, recognition, and strength. Now, with women's advocacy and support from all groups, the commodified stereotype around women is slowly being broken down and turned into a form of appreciation for the beauty and success of women in their bodies.